Hi there, my name's Calum. I'm one of the pastors at Elam in Paisley. I'm trying to find out how our community is getting on during this COVID crisis. Today I'm interviewing Ken Clark, who happens to be my old boss, who runs Redss Catering. He's been involved with business in Paisley for the better part of 2 decades, and today I want to touch base with him, find out how business is going, and why Paisley is a great place to invest in. Check this conversation out. So Ken, thank you so much for giving up some of your time. I really appreciate you doing this. The last time we were in an interview setting, I was actually interviewing, you were interviewing me for a job.
I don't think it was much of an interview.
No, I mean, no, it was basically got in through your son. He got me the job. Thanks, Matt. And I ended up working for just about 5 years. And I can honestly say it was the worst 5 years of my life. Just kidding. I loved working at Redss, and there was just I really did enjoy working at Redss. I enjoyed just the atmosphere of being in a cafe setting in Paisley, having so many people come in out. The catering side of it was fun. I still miss the kind of heightened adrenaline rush of trying to get stuff out on time. Sometimes I get a craving just to put a timer on and do something that's really intense. And also the staff were just brilliant. And I think what was just testament to yourself and the way that you led that group of people was when you finished up the cafe to focus on the catering side of the business. We had that night where you just had some of the staff came and had a party, and it was like people were traveling up for that night, because I think everybody who's worked at Redss kind of has that kind of fond memory of just working there. So.
Yeah, but it was also a free bar and free food, so I mean,
you're not meant to tell people that, that did draw people in, and I'm sure I could put some photos up, but they would be and nobody would thank us. So, but it was just a great night, and so Ken, thought it'd be good just to get a chance to speak to you about business. You've been running business in Paisley for quite a bit of time, but could you just start by telling us a bit about yourself, your own history, how you ended up here, and what you're doing just now?
Well, I will do, Calum, but the first thing that I wanted to say was you should be extremely proud of yourself, because after all of these years, you finally got me going to church. After pestering the life out of me, you've got me going to church.
Amazing. Wait, are you tuning in online?
Every Sunday, doing my veg prep, making pies, making soup. I've got you on in the background, which is good because I can kind of tune in, tune out.
You can listen to my voice without looking at the face, right?
And I mean, it's like it's church without the faff.
well, the plan is, Ken, to keep that going even when we can meet again online. You can keep cutting your vegetables, hearing about Jesus. Well done.
Absolutely loving it. I think you should call it Elam Light, though.
Yeah. We'll make a shortened down, concise version for people who have a deadline to do catering. Basically for yourself.
Yeah, or anybody. Sunday morning. I mean, it's so much better than that Sunday brunch thing. I mean, there's so much nonsense on a Sunday morning. Like, listen, well done. Keep it going. Thanks,
Ken. I appreciate it, mate. Thanks.
So what was your question? So
everyone's wondering, who on earth are you? And how was your history, and how did you end up doing what you're doing?
I'm sure they are. And Mags had said, for God's sake, keep it short. But yeah, a lot of people won't know this, but I am actually a microbiologist. So 1982, did all that stuff, studied at college and worked at Western Infirmary, became an actual qualified microbiologist. In the 80s, I then moved on to become an environmental health officer, would you believe, which was quite good.
I do believe that. I remember working for you, and it was like...
That was... so that was the mid-80s, and then in 89, I moved to Dubai with a global catering company, and was stationed there as a base. And my first posting when I moved to Dubai was, I thought I was going for the good life and beaches and just great weather and great food, and I got shunted out to Bangladesh for 3 months.
Nice. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was nice. And then through the 90s, I worked with this company on and off, and basically travelled to all of their different locations and sites, which was Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen,
basically all
Nigeria.
all the places on the bucket list, right?
Well, all the places that you probably wouldn't go first. But, you know, it was free travel, and it was really interesting. It really did it really did kind of broaden me as a person, and the experiences, you couldn't buy them. So that was the kind of 90s kind of taken care of. And then we arrived back here in 2001, 2002, and had a decision to make about what the future was going to hold. And that future just happened to be Red's Espresso Bar at 44 Glasgow Road.
I mean, people probably now they're so used to coffee shops and all that kind of stuff. But at the time in Paisley, and in Renfrewshire, it was actually quite cutting edge. And you had like the New York designer come in and do a whole bunch of design work. I remember.
I actually forgotten about.
Yeah, it was cool. And then we were I was actually in first year at school when that opened, so there might be a whole bunch of people who remember this. But there was a competition to see who could do the best Red's logo. You know, I think you just didn't want to pay for someone to do the logo, so you thought you would get the kids nearby. And I can't remember what the prize was. Was it like a free buttered panini or something?
Well, I mean, that was pushing the boat out. I mean, so that was 2003, and we kind of struggled to get the place open because Renfrewshire Council felt that there was too many food outlets on Glasgow Road at that time. Can you imagine
it's amazing that, isn't it?
Can you imagine? Yeah. So we had the Snack Shack, we had Champion Chinese, we had CJ, we had Alts, and we had
Des. He would sell rolls.
He was Des selling rolls. So there really was a conflict there. So when we came along with Red's Espresso Bar, they felt that we were too similar a food offer to the other guys in that 200-yard space of street.
Okay.
Come on, man. So they forced us into like changing part of what the cafe would offer. And we were really struggling to come up with what else we could do to secure the planning application. And you think about now, there are 4 Italians, 3 Chinese, 4 independent cafes. There's something like 16 food outlets now, which is great, which is fantastic. I mean, why not?
I mean, and there was, back then, I spent before I worked for Red's, I used to come in all the time and just get a coffee. You know, I thought it was the coolest place ever.
Yeah, double espresso. just to get you through your schooling.
It was, maths in secondary was really hard work. So, but no, but there also there was lots of like really pretty staff, wasn't there? I ended up marrying one of them, so it kind of all worked pretty well.
Was it just the one you married, or
just one? Just officially. One. Yeah. And she's still. We're still living together. We're still in the same house. So it all worked well.
No, it was definitely the place to be. So in the end, the compromise that we reached with the council was that we would put some internet facilities into the cafe, and then that would make us different from Snack Shack and from the Champion Chinese. So if we put the internet facility in, we would get a license, which we did at huge expense. And it was a real pain because then you just became known as an internet cafe. And
I remember,
people don't associate an internet cafe with good food, and coffee, which is what we were about.
So for anyone under the age of 25, right? There was a time when Wi-Fi wasn't readily available. Yeah. And literally you were going to some of these a kind of internet cafe, and it would have like the computer set up. And I remember you would have to create this code and write down the code. My handwriting was so bad that people would keep coming back. It's not working. I said, it's my handwriting.
Yeah, we couldn't afford a printer to print that off, but
So
we had lots of wee tickets. You liked a wee ticket.
that's it. Yeah, but it was pretty innovative at the time. I mean, and lots of school kids would use it, and people would come in, especially if they didn't have access to the internet.
No, absolutely. I mean, on reflection, when you think about it, I mean, the ethos of the company was, we really wanted to be like part of the community, a central hub, a cafe that was that was like for everyone, and really that internet aspect did facilitate that. So it was a good thing. And back then, people just didn't have PCs at home, or a lot of people didn't. So it probably didn't do too much harm. So fair enough.
Yeah. So I mean, so over the years, obviously things have developed, and the business has changed, and it's done a lot of great. There's been a lot of great achievements that Redss have been given. You know, what would you say some of the best achievements you've?
Well, I suppose like very, very soon after opening, I mean, my idea was a cafe 500 yards from my home meant that I would be able to bring up the kids through school and be really flexible. I could do the school run, and I could pick the kids up after school because you would have staff in the cafe. So, that was the kind of the attraction for me of opening up. I didn't want to take a job like a job with a bigger company and be travelling and not be home. I had to be at home, so that was ideal. But very soon after opening, we were asked to do a catering job for the Royal Bank of Scotland, which I was a bit reticent about, because I thought this might actually open a can of worms. Bad analogy, I know, for a food business, but we did it, and it was a network lunch, and there was 25 companies at the Royal Bank eating our food, and off the back of that, the catering side of the business just went a wee bit nuts, and I hadn't really factored that in. I just thought, nice cafe, paninis, nice coffee, simple menu. Don't really want to be running around doing catering events. Yeah. But it was kind of hard to ignore, because the response that we got from the food that the buffets that we created were so popular. So, so between the two, between the cafe and catering, things just got quite hectic.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, there was just so much going on, and it was like I think things were growing so quickly.
But you were so calm though. There was nothing phased you.
It was the hours and hours of prayer and meditation before each shift.
No, I'm really, really proud of the sort of quality of the food and the service. So proud of the staff that we've had over the years. Just really, really good people. But I suppose just to kind of some of the major achievements, we catered for Charles and Camilla. I mean, what internet cafe in Britain would be asked to do the catering for Charles and Camilla? They opened up the Abbey Mill. Yeah. We were the caterer that did that event. I mean, that's quite a big thing. We did the mod. Yeah. We fed and watered 3,000 people that week. Basically lived in the marquee outside Paisley Abbey. When we took over, one of the other things that we did was we took the franchise for Paisley Arts Centre, which you remember. And there was a few bumps in the road there, but what we did was we brought comedy nights back to Paisley after a huge lull. And you're not talking just anybody, you're talking, it was Gary Little and I can't even remember the guy's name. Kevin Bridges, for God's sake. Kevin Bridges was at Paisley Arts Centre. Yeah. We kind of made that happen. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're really proud of. So
it's good. I mean, and the other thing that was interesting is obviously you've been a business that have come through what was the Great Recession back in 2008, 2009. And so you've kind of seen the best times in the town, and then also some of the really the toughest, and it was tough for a few years. What if there's people that are listening that are thinking about investing in Paisley? Obviously, the economy's looking a bit funny just now. Why do you think Paisley is a good place to invest in?
Well, I mean, I think really, when we opened in 2003, you look at the catchment area, even just on Glasgow Road. Sometimes I think I like looking at Paisley from above, and I'm not just saying this because it's the hill at Ralston Golf Club where you actually look down on the town.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely massive, and you have so many people in this town. It's a beautiful town.
yeah,
And there are so many people online now posting different images of different areas in the architecture and the streets, and it really is. It's a stunning wee place, and there's a lot of people here.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people here who live in Paisley, commute to Glasgow, who have a bob or two,
Yep.
who are prepared to spend. And that's one of the reasons why you've had so many restaurants and cafes opening up.
Absolutely.
And I think there's definitely opportunities here for people to invest.
Absolutely. I think that whole perception of Paisley has just changed these last few years, and it's great just seeing so many things open up and do it. So it's great just speaking to you because you've actually been through a lot.
It's funny to think that we actually went through the COVID. We're going through the COVID crisis, and we went through the banking crisis.
Yeah.
When one of your biggest clients is the Royal Bank of Scotland, and you still come through that. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
So what does lockdown look like for you? How has COVID affected Redss? What are some of the things that you're doing?
Well, I really, really, really miss hugs. Do you not miss a hug?
You are a hugger though. I mean,
I'm a big hugger.
I've got mates that just through me know you, and they're like, I met Kenny, just came up and gave me a big hug in the middle of Morrison's.
I'm a big hugger and a big handshaker. It's like not a funny handshake. It's just I like that kind of contact.
I'm the same. I'm surprised.
We were always like that at Redss. It was just kind of that kind of environment. So
yeah, definitely. It's one of the things I miss the most is just that those simple bits of just like simple physical contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't imagine there's too many companies that haven't suffered a loss in business. I mean, we've obviously suffered a loss from party revenue, and we're generally booked out sort of 6 months in advance. So, and we've obviously lost that revenue, but it will come back, and it bears no comparison to the loss that people have suffered from loss of family members, and so really it doesn't compare. I mean, the business will come back to Redss that we've lost. So
yeah,
my kind of heart goes out to the folk that have really suffered. And we were talking earlier about 8 people at a funeral, 6 people at a funeral. I mean, that's absolutely desperate. So
yeah, I mean, it really is, and I think there'll be a time for the community to grieve, beyond this. And
yeah, absolutely.
Grief beyond even just lost ones, but like actually lost opportunities, lost time.
Yeah,
there's a sense of that. So
yeah, but in the sense of business hasn't really changed too much for us on a day-to-day basis. One of our biggest clients, or our biggest client, are key workers, so they've stayed operational. So I've been feeding them.
Good.
So business-wise, we're ticking over, but I like the sense of sort of community that's become apparent. It's kind of like Christmas Day when you go out for a walk, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many people saying that. People you don't know in the street, you nod and say hello, and that's, we've had like 10 weeks of that. Normally it's just Christmas Day, so people are kind of looking out for each other, and I really like that the kind of atmosphere of that.
Yeah, it does feel like the values, everyone's value system has changed a wee bit. And I don't necessarily think it's all bad. I think actually we'll take quite a few good things out of that going forward, which is good. Well, one of the things that you've done, which I think has been quite innovative, is just these doorstep celebration meals. And if you're not following Redss on Instagram or Facebook, do it, because it's gonna make you hungry. Just when you're seeing all of these photos. But can you just tell us a wee bit about what that is and what that looks like?
Yeah, well, Mags and I were sitting just like socially distanced, talking over the garden fence about what restaurant we were missing. Where would we go tonight if we could? And we're big fans of Beirut Star. There's a name check in Paisley Road West. Lebanese food, my favourite. Really missing it. So if we could have gone somewhere, it would have been there. And then we kind of started thinking, everybody else must be kind of missing their favourite restaurant. So we kind of put it out there to a few folk. What's your favourite restaurant? What would you order? And they came back to us and said, we would like some Greek food. Elia's our favourite. So we kind of like took excerpts of their menu, fired it back to the client and said, we can bring this to your doorstep. And people ordered it.
Brilliant.
Whether it was a Greek meze or a Thai menu, we've actually put it together and delivered it to the doorstep. And funnily enough, the great thing is that if it can be kept, it's not necessarily just for celebrations or birthdays or anniversaries or engagement parties, but it can just be for, if you're just bored with your usual takeaway and you don't want to cook. But Tommy McGrory, who you interviewed recently, his partner contacted me, and it's great if it can be kept kind of on the QT. He had no idea that he was receiving a doorstep delivery, and she'd ordered his favourite food from the Chapira restaurant in Glasgow, or that was the genre, and so we put the menu together and took it along, buzzed the door. And when we walked upstairs, Tommy thought I was the Amazon guy because he was taking the parcel. Yeah. The look in his face, Calum, was absolutely priceless. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, so you can check out my interview with Tommy, another great guy, and Tommy used to be an absolute regular at Redss. I know.
Yeah. So it's just that it was the excitement in his face that he was actually. It wasn't just pizza because that's what he thought he was getting for his birthday dinner. Yeah. It was actually a real meal, real celebration dinner. So no, it's working well, and it's nice to through food putting smiles on people's faces.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's all good.
So Ken, if there's people listening to this and they're thinking, I've got a birthday or something coming up I want to celebrate, or just some food that's a bit different one night, how can they get in touch? How can they order? Just
the usual social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the contact details are on there. Loads of nice foodie images, and you can, as I say, all the contact details are on there. Just ping me a wee message and we'll see what we can do.
Brilliant. I'll leave all those details in the comments section just underneath the video, and people can just click and go straight there, which is good. So Ken, but just really appreciate what you do. One of the things that people probably don't see about you, but I got to see when I was working with you, was just that you're an incredibly generous person. And I remember there was just sometimes there was this older guy who came over, and he loved chicken noodle soup. And I just remember you would always hand him this box of whatever it was away with him, and so I just learned a huge amount of just not just about business and all that kind of stuff, but just in terms of character from yourself when we were working together. And so I'm looking forward to maybe grab a pint or a coffee.
Yeah, that'll be good, mate.
So really appreciate your time, mate. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And we'll catch you soon.